When you first log into gEHRiMed, you will come to the dashboard screen. The dashboard is a heads-up display providing access to your patient census by facility, patient details, history, and demographics, your current unsigned encounters, and functional areas for creating new encounters, sending and receiving secure messages regarding patients or other clinically relevant data, and accessing reports and quality measures. At the top of the dashboard, you'll find the patient census by facility. If you click on the drop-down at the very top of the screen, you'll see the additional facilities other members of your practice operate within. Under patient census by facility, you can see 3 separate facilities, each with a blue and a red bar. The blue bar shows your active patients. The red bar shows active patients within the practice at each facility. And if I double click on one of the red bars, I could drill down to the patient census for that particular facility. Scrolling left to right, you can see some high-level details about each patient, such as days since last visit, who saw the patient last, if they're on the calendar for a scheduled visit or follow-up, etc. In the area below the patient census by facility, you can see the unsigned encounter ribbon. Anytime you may have started an encounter but were unable to complete it, the encounter is stored here for quick access. This functionality allows you to capture your encounter detail quickly for each patient and then come back later to complete the review and sign. Below the unsigned encounter ribbon is a toolbar with different functional components. The first is our messaging area. Because LTC physicians serve patients in different geographical settings, we've integrated messaging directly into the interface to allow for internal messages to be sent back and forth within your group. This is clinically relevant data about patients, practice management, messages, etc., and it's secure, so you can include PHI. The second area, triage notes, allows you to capture circumstantial details. For example, you receive a call from a facility that a patient has fallen. You can document the occurrence and tie that event to the patient's record. Other examples would be new labs, changes in meds, etc. Next, you can create an encounter for a new or an existing patient using only 5 core pieces of data. You can also search for current patients. You can access and see how you're doing with your clinical measures. You can also configure and run standard reports.
What I want to be able to show you here is basically the workflow, and it's very, very simple and straightforward. You've got history, review of systems, vitals, physical exam. I'll skip over this one. I'll come back to it. You've got diagnosis, assessment, and plan. That's basically that's it. There's not a lot of bells and whistles here. It's a pretty straightforward workflow. History, review of systems, and physical exam are all broken out, as you see here, in thirds. Over here on the left side, under history, you've got all the items under history. And again, this is a patient that we've seen, so this is an encounter template. A follow-up template, the template would be a little bit different for an H&P. You would have different items through here. Over here in the middle is where the information's entered. Over here to the right, we have normals and previous encounters. What I want to show you here is that we have system normals that our medical directors for gEHRiMed have plugged in. You can have any company normals that you want. Then you can also have user normals, and those are very simple to do. You simply would enter any information that you want here. You would set text as user normal. We'll do that in a few minutes. You would have system normals, company normals, and user normals, or like I said, in some cases, abnormals. You can see over here under review of systems, broken out the same way, much in the same way. If you go over to previous encounters, let's go to ears, nose, mouth, and throat. And you can see that you've got system normals, you've got company normals, and here you do have a user normal. But if I go over to previous encounters and click on it, what that shows, it shows any of the previous encounters for this particular, again, we're looking at review of systems, and we're looking at this specific item, ears, nose, mouth, and throat. It shows all the previous encounters. It shows who the provider was, the date that service took place, and the CPT code associated with this. So you can go down through there and see that there's multiple information that has been entered in for this particular item on those different dates. Now, if you want to go back to the last one, and the last encounter here was on 415. So it's showing the information that was entered for ears, nose, mouth, and throat on 415. If you want to see that in context, or if you're seeing someone else's patient, you simply go up and click View, and it will show you the encounter, and it will put that in context. So that specific item that you were looking at, ears, nose, mouth, and throat, it will show that in context to everything within that note. I'm going to close out of that. I'm going to come back over and show you that physical exams are broken out in the same way. You've got all the items. Here's where your note is populated. You've got normals and previous encounter. So history, review of systems, and physical exam are all broken out in that same manner. Vitals is a little bit different. It's pretty straightforward, where you simply enter in the vital information. And then diagnosis and assessment is broken into 3 boxes. Up here at the top, you have the CPT code. And just to let you know, too, that the CPT code, it'll only allow you to enter the CPT codes that are associated with the place of service. Here, for this example, with skilled nursing facility, it's only going to allow you to enter those codes. Over here is where your assessment will go. To the right is where your problem list is, and you've got all these right now are active. You can manage your problem list over here simply by clicking, and you can make it inactive, resolved, or delete it. If you need to search for a code, you simply go to Add Code. If you know the code number, you can type it in. If you don't know the code number, you can spell it out, and it will pull up all the codes associated with that. And to add codes over here, you simply go over and click, and it will pull them over.